Got to be very careful. These cars can get a little free, and the 12 car's already in the wall, bouncing off it twice, and there we go. The 01 goes around. Schofield, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars involved. The 7, the 22, the 19, the 17, Santa Claus, everyone's involved.
All right. Welcome back to another episode of the Hotdog Stand. Saw a little clip there of lap 1 from our race last week. We'll get into that a little bit in a minute. But I am one of your hosts, Chris Wally, driver of the 51 Spartan Transportation's Chevy Camaro.
I'm Brian Rick, driver of the number 11 R&R Racewear Camaro.
I am the infamous Neil Quick, driver of the number 2 Spartan Transportation, R&R Racewear, Loud Pedal Media, 5-Star Graphics. Did that guy say Santa Claus crashed in that wreck too?
He did.
But anyway, I drive that number 2 that's usually chasing number 3. And by the way, the number 3 is a cheater.
Thank you. Great transition, Neil. And I'm Brian McCann, driver of the number 3 car, the Spartan Transportation
See,
Chevrolet.
I got you all choked up.
Yes, you did.
I'm flustered.
And I'm your producer, Kyle Pendergraft, Loud Pedal Media owner and driver of the 14 Spartan Transportation Chevy Camaro.
And we got 2 special guests with us today. 2 league members, 2 very successful drivers that we've had in our league and many other leagues. Brandon Mefford and Chris Mefford. Welcome, fellas.
Welcome. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Just going to dive into y'all a little bit. I've got some stats here. We've been lucky enough to have y'all be a part of this thing for a while now, and both are front runners for us. So Brandon, going back, couldn't go back but to season 3, but season 3, 4, and so far this year, 308 laps led, 15 top 5s, and 22 top 10s. Still looking for that win. I know we've talked about that. It's been there a few times and just escaped you for whatever reason. So going on to Chris, tell you what, man, you've been dominating the win column a little bit here. 12 wins, 696 laps led, 25 top 5s, and 37 top 10s.
Damn.
Between the 2 of you, that's a bunch. It's a bunch, fellas. A lot of success there.
We're not the McCanns.
Well, not the McCanns. I guess
You're definitely not the Quicks.
the lower version. Yeah, but it's good. We have lots of sets of brothers in this deal.
I was getting ready to say that. How many do we have?
The Quicks. Hell, I had my stepbrother on this deal for the first 2 seasons, and then things got tough. And he went to school, so I'll give him that too.
He's coming back, though, right? Didn't you say he's coming back?
A second brother is supposed to hopefully
got you.
join us in a little while. He actually just got out of the Army himself this week, got home from there. So happy to have him back.
Another wall, that's dangerous.
That is dangerous because
Now we're going to be 4 wide to super speedways.
it's going to be a weapon, baby. It's going to be a weapon.
Well, he's going to have a train. I mean, that's going to be even. I mean, Chris is going to be high, wide, and handsome. And now he's going to have 2 or 3 guys behind him. So that's going to be a moving missile.
Before we get too much further into this, I mean, we have a hot dog stand name for a reason. And these two gentlemen are sitting right here, and I want to hear the story. What made us be the hot dog stand from you guys?
It's right in the middle, right there.
Where?
Right there.
Center stage.
No.
Center stage.
So, in my words, me and Kevin just had a heated rivalry. I think it was last year. Just raced each other hard and got into each other quite a bit. And
Kevin McCann, right?
Yep, Kevin McCann. And we went to Martinsville, and sure enough, you got them famous hot dogs, and here comes one of the names.
No, hold on. You got it wrong already. It was New Hampshire.
It was New Hampshire.
Martinsville was beat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was put me on pit road upside down in Martinsville. That was
That's
like
what I did.
I think what he's talking about is where it started at. The rivalry. Yeah,
it was Martinsville.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was up there racing. I was racing both the McCanns, and if you ain't got battle 1, that's bad enough. Then you got battle 2 of them, and I think I just got around Brian, and Kevin followed up, and Kevin just, I don't know what he does at New Hampshire or Martinsville. It's just, it works so well for them guys, and it's just, I'm pretty decent on short tracks, but I think Kevin has that edge on quite a few people.
And I
So
think
what-
at Martinsville, Kevin was on the bottom side of you, right? And then slid up into you.
And we had some lappers we was trying to catch. It wasn't, I think it was like 10 laps to go, and we were just racing for the win. Hard racing.
So tell us what happened at New Hampshire. That's where the name the Hotdog Stand came from.
I cannot remember.
Somebody
I-
knows it. Neil.
I know it.
I know. I want somebody else to tell it though.
I
Hey,
raced too many
pretty
leagues.
pretty
to remember.
much. Chris couldn't beat the McCann, so he drove off into turn one and never lifted, and sent Kevin to the hot dog stand.
There it is.
And so Kevin made sure everybody knew about it.
Well, I think the fact is, I mean, it's probably
There was
started
that
in New
coach.
Hampshire, but here it comes.
That's it.
This is it. Look at that.
Look at that mustache.
You got the sound for that?
I sure do.
Look, already on the brakes.
Oh nope,
Oh,
it was recorded
no.
without. I was recorded
Brakes
without
didn't
sound.
work. Brakes
Oh, is
didn't
that what
work for
happened?
like 3 weeks. Yeah, 3 weeks there.
Hmm. Something was going to stop him.
Hey, eight's better than 4, they tell me.
Shoot.
Well,
we wouldn't be.
we appreciate it. We wouldn't have this if it wasn't for you. So
That's
thank
true.
That's what I was saying.
I wanted
That's
to get it
definitely
out
true.
there right away.
Now, like I said, I think me and Kevin and Brian and Brandon all come from the same competitive, state of mind. I mean, that's about you guys. We like to race hard. We want to be the best. We want to beat the best. And I'm not saying we're the best guys out there, but our league is, or Wally and Penny's league is just so fast, so dominant that you can have, basically like NASCAR nowadays, you can have 19 different winners in a matter of races. It's just whoever keeps it clean beats the McCanns.
Well, and let's be honest. I mean, you kind of put it there too. Everybody's so competitive here, and everyone's going for the same real estate. And when when everybody's got around the same speed, you're all in the same area, racing the same guys, week in and week out. And at times, you're going to touch, and things are going to happen. And and it's a part of racing.
That's
And y'all race, there's about 10 of y'all that run together every single week, and something is bound to happen from time to time. And the rest of us, we're just lucky to be entertained by it.
Yeah, them new NASCAR, those new Cup cars last year in iRacing didn't help matters at all.
true.
So Brian and Kevin figured them out real early, and we were all playing catch up, trying too hard, and it caused a lot more wrecks than what we're seeing right now in this B car.
I'm thinking forget about Neil Quick. He had about 4 wins in the first 5 races.
I was cheating.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that.
Well, I
Yeah,
think there was
that-
such a swing there, right? That when those cars first came out, no one could get away from each other. It was like a train. There were slot cars running around the track, and then it had the update, it flipped, and
Oh yeah.
then it was like being on ice.
Yep.
Yeah, they were pretty darn inconsistent. I mean, when you get in the gas and do it 60 laps in a row, and then on the 61st lap you come around the same thing and it jumps on you. So I know Chris kind of reminded me the other night. I mean, I was chasing, I think, Troy down at one of the Martinsville races with a couple laps to go or on the last lap and come out of 4. Damn thing just jumped sideways and spun. And I mean, that happened multiple times last year. So, but going back, and I got a couple questions for you guys. And this is just kind of one at a time from you, but I know we're talking iRacing. How long you guys been doing it, and when did it start for you guys? I know you guys both have some past racing experience, and we'll go into that a little bit too. But iRacing, how long have you guys been doing it?
I've been doing it. I think I started in either 09 or 2010. Done it for a bit, then we had an accident with our dad, and I stopped for 5-6 years. Just life happened. Had to grow up. Learning the hard way. I had Brandon to look up to as a father figure. I mean, he's like 5 or 6 years older than I am, and just something was pretty hard to do. And then once things started settling down, life started slowing down. I was able to start doing more things outside of work, outside of life, kind of make a iRacing, and I started out with races for a cause. It was that's why we run so many causes. If you guys notice on our trucks, we ran that for multiple years, and it's just all kind of stuck with us. Um, I know some of those charities and stuff don't watch, and that's fine. But you might get somebody in there whenever one of us finishes up there or get interviewed. Um, we might say something about it, and they might come to their attention like, oh, that's a pretty good cause. I might donate, even $20 or something like that, and even without us knowing, that's awesome. Just even to have that kind of mindset
Yeah, I agree with
to
that.
think about that.
Yeah, and then I don't know. Chris always had that iRacing around. Go visit Dad and go back home. We'd hop on it. Chris's little setup, just on a little desk and all that good stuff. So messed around on it. Didn't know what I was doing. I hate video games, so iRacing obviously not a video game, but um, Chris grew up with all that stuff. I didn't care for it, so I raced for I don't know 10, 11 years. And then, again, life happened. Kids got busy, so race cars took a back seat. And about 3 years ago, Chris like, why don't you get a computer and get on iRacing? I'm like, nah, I'm not going to do that. That's stupid. And he talked me to computer. So this coming winter will be my third winter doing iRacing. So I love it. I probably race too much. I'm running 4 nights a week right now, so it's almost as bad as having a real race car. But usually the kids are in bed, so it's not a huge deal. We get started around 8:30 all the time. So I've only been doing it 3 years, and shit, I can't stop.
Yeah, I mean, you sit here and think about it. I'm sure Brian and Neil can vouch on it, and maybe you too, Wally. Life happens. You get busy. You don't spend time with family. And it's what's a cooler way than to be on a video game and race against your brother.
Yep.
It's pretty damn cool to be able to do that, and it's not like spending time together, but you're still kind of are in a sense.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the things that I was just talking to I believe I was talking to my wife about it. We all come together on Thursday night. I was thinking about while I was in Bristol. So I went to the race over the weekend. I live in Florida, so I'm like, man, I'm a long way from home. But I was thinking, well, Pendergraft is just 4 hours up the road. But that's a long way from where I just came from the house. And was thinking about how we're all scattered, right? We're all over the place. But every Thursday night we come together. We've all built a really good friendship and all this. And it doesn't seem like, you're that far away with what we've been able to do together and enjoy it. And then when y'all get to bring in, family members into it, and that's just another bond, right? Just something else to tie to and spend time together doing something you enjoy. It's really a positive thing, as long as you're not getting sent to the hotdog stand.
It's kind of a little bit. It's kind of funny because really in our league and all you guys, it's really crazy because we talk about family, but all you guys become household names. Uh,
Yep.
it's kind of crazy because you start talking to the wives or your kids and they're watching your races and stuff, and they know Brian, they know Brandon, they know Chris, they know everybody that we're racing with, and it's like, oh, Chris gave you hell tonight, or Brian gave you hell, or you played second fiddle to Brian for the 500th time, and I'm like, yeah, I don't want to hear that. Uh, so, but yeah, but it's one of those things. I mean, it's pretty cool to see that, or just see how close this group is, and like we've talked in past episodes, it's kind of a pretty close network group, just like you race with on if you're racing regular cars on a weekend. I mean, it's a close knit family, and when something happens, everybody's kind of tuned into it. So,
And hats off to Wally. I mean, there's a lot of people that put this thing on, but it was Chris's vision to, I believe, to to bring people together first and foremost, and keep that relationship going. Just like Neil said. I mean, you guys are, all of you guys are definitely household names in my home. So I appreciate that. Just
Kind of a cool thing. So
yep.
yeah, it's and again that side goes the competitive side too. I mean, you know who you got to beat on Thursday night or Tuesday night, whatever week you're doing. But for us, for Thursday nights, it's we all come together and we know who we want to beat and who we're being competitive with. So
Right.
pretty cool.
Yeah, there's another cool thing, if I may chime in here, is that I've raced with Troy for a matter of, I don't know, 5 years, I think. And he's came actually one of my best buddies. And I went on vacation earlier this year, and we met up down in Tennessee, and hung out for a little bit. Brandon, he's drove over to Troy's house, and Troy just said, "Hey, here's my rig. Go ahead and take it." I mean, Troy just, him and his family are awesome people, and as well as I'm sure you guys are too. It's crazy how a simulator can make new friends that you never thought in the world, your wildest dreams, that would happen.
Yeah, we've talked about like a little IROC retreat or something like that. Do once a year, try to get everybody together. And
We're talking about Nashville or something this year, aren't we?
Correct.
Yep. So
Volleyball and by Sweets.
It's done.
I'm gonna talk to my,
got him.
yeah, I'm talking to my sponsor about that. That would be
All right.
that would be this guy.
All right. I hate to break the conversation. Oh, go ahead.
It's that
My
guy
beard's
down
a little
there.
white than that.
Yeah. So I hate to break the conversation up here, but we got to take a moment to hear from our presenting sponsor, Spartan Transportation.
Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws Late Model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook.
Thank you to Spartan Transportation for their support. We really appreciate them very much. Let's get on with the conversation again, boys.
I had a real quick I have a question for Brandon. So you race real cars for how many years?
Oh, 2006, I think, is the first time I got in one.
What were you racing?
I was racing Thunder cars. So basically an old Caprice, had a cage in it, everything stock, engine except the engines. I mean, basically it was a bomber car or something like that, what the dirt guys call them. So
on asphalt stuff?
Yep, on asphalt. Yeah. And then 2000, I started in 2007, so I raced for 10 years. I haven't been in a car since 2017.
How do you so you did some asphalt racing, and I'm always intrigued. I ask any guest we have on that's done some prior racing, and how do you feel like that correlates to any of the sim, or do you?
Well, I think it correlates. It speeds the process up, trying to figure the simulator out. So I really struggled early on with this sim because I don't feel the car, so I don't feel it in my seat.
Right.
I have to learn how to see it with my eyes and feel it in my wheel, and that was tough. So
did it
not
click
being able
for
to
you one day, or how did that come about?
It was real slow for me, I thought. So you mean on the sim, right, Brian?
Yeah, getting adjusted to the sim.
I think it took me 6 or 7 months to start feeling what the car was doing, and it took a lot from Troy and Chris and these guys that jumped on to help me out. But I thought it took forever. And then honestly, I don't know, about a year ago, I think it was, I got triple monitors, and having that peripheral changed the game for me. So I could feel the car and see where I was, and it really helped me out. And that's when things started clicking for me, I think. I was getting better, but I felt like I started competing about a year and a half ago when I got the triple monitors and could just see around me. More
Was
of a
there
feel.
one thing in particular that did trip for you? Because I mean, I'm a dirt racer from way back, and I'm not very good at these asphalt stuff. What was it that, because you don't feel these cars, you know what I mean? So you're driving off a sight. Was there one thing in particular that you feel made you faster on asphalt, or that that it did click?
Well, we upgraded the Fanatec wheel and turned the force feedback all the way up for me. So
Up, huh?
you could feel the wheel get light. You're starting to rotate the car, and
Right.
once I could feel the car rotate in the middle of the corner, I could start changing my entry and my exit, and when I start pounding the throttle. But just simply being able to feel the car rotate was the kicker for me. That was like, haha. And that's when I started figuring this thing out as far as
Yeah,
the
see, I
feel
don't
goes.
think I know that part yet. I guess that's what I struggle with, is
Yep.
knowing when to pick back up on the throttle, or when to get on the brakes or whatever. But
Yep.
just curious what your
See,
thought.
and Mr. Speed over here on our podcast keeps telling us to turn everything off. And see, look at you now. So he's setting us up for failure over here, huh?
I mean,
Turn it up then.
we all know we've had that conversation about my force feedback. That thing was on like 23.
25. I'm like, how do you even hold it?
Yeah.
well, I mean, I don't have it. I got the wheel all the way up at 100%. In game, I'm not, I'm 12 or 13, but it's enough to feel the car for me. And I tried to turn this stuff down for the super speedways, like Brian said the other day, and I don't know if that hurt me or killed me. It's a different feel.
So you got what up on 100?
The force feedback on the steering wheel itself. So the setting on the Fanatec stuff is at 100 on the force feedback. If I go get on the dirt, I turn it down to like 70, 75 because I can't hold on to it. I'm a weenie.
Yeah, I turned mine down in game to about 12, 13 as well. I was way up there. And then thinking about what Brian McCann was saying about getting lower and you're not fighting the wheel as much, it made sense, and had a little bit more speed once I did that. So there's definitely something to it.
I think there's probably a sweet spot for everybody, and it may just come down to preference, because I can turn it all the way off and I'm slower, but then I start increasing and I'll find that speed again. And there's like a certain point that I just like to have it at.
And I figure it's got to be between your wheel as well, right? That's got to make a difference in the performance of the wheel, just in general, of how that feeling feels based on your in-game settings. So there's probably a lot to that there.
Yeah.
Question that I've got for y'all, as far as the sim goes, right? What has been your best car and what has been your worst, and why?
Now, hands down, the worst car is that damn Cup car that we tried to drive last season. I hate that thing. Can't stand it. They can throw it away for all I care.
That thing is so bad.
And then, I love the ARCA cars and the trucks. I love those. I love the B car right now. I think it's fantastic. So I would race any of the three every night.
Now your brother's got the sour beer face going on now.
He's shaking his head.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the B cars. I mean, it's better than the new Cup cars, but not that I don't like them. I still have not figured them out. I can sit there and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna save tires. I'll be fine. And then I fall back so hard. I'm like, all right, I need to start picking it up, and I start losing more time. And I don't know what it is. I can never figure them out. I mean, short track's a different little story because you're gonna burn them up no matter what. But I'm kind of with Brandon. I like the ARCA cars and the trucks. Trucks are probably my favorite.
I like trucks too.
I just feel like I have better feel since it's so much heavier. I can really feel it, rotating, and really different feeling the steering wheel and the pedals for them. So, if the new A cars got deleted tomorrow, I wouldn't be sad.
You think they'll fix them, or What do you think they'll do with them?
See, I found it weird because I thought, now I could be wrong. I thought when those cars now have bigger brakes, bigger and better brakes, but whenever we ran Martinsville, it's just like you had to brake stupid early to get the car slowed down, and it was totally different than anything I ever drove at Martinsville. So, um, it, unless I'm deceiving on it, I hope they get rid of it, to be honest. But I know some people like them.
Yeah.
I mean, my thoughts on the next gen car is just that you took say IMSA V8 touring car, a road car platform to try to turn it into an oval car is my feel to it. I think the way the car is designed to be the same to go right and left and to run it on ovals, you're going to have some problems. I think that the cars like the trucks, the B cars, and the A cars that's been around for so long, using a Ford 9-inch rear end with a track bar and all that going on, I think those cars are generally designed to be on oval tracks. I think that's what they were made for, and they progressed through so many years, and all the research and tech that they've got on there, basically, that's what they're designed for. I mean, it's tough to beat. I mean, my favorite vehicle to drive is an '87 Cup car, just not as many guys racing on them. Beat said the next would be the truck. Uh, Pretty comfortable with the truck, and I like racing you guys with it. But the B car for me is kind of tight. Trying to figure it out, try to get better with it. I Same thing, trying to conserve the right front tire, just like you guys say. I mean, we're usually in the same spot and same vicinity on the racetrack. So, uh, and then the next gen car, I drive it, but I mean, if there's 3 races going on at the same time, and I have a shot to be in a B or a truck, I'm going to choose that anytime over the next gen car right now.
Totally.
Yeah, so we got a few of us back here trying not to laugh, myself included. We got this little chat just for those that don't know. Kyle's got a guest back there behind him and stuff.
You getting mugged or
No, that's my stepson.
We're all picking
boy.
at
You're live on TV.
Yeah. No, I'm not getting mugged, I promise.
We're trying to all warn
He's
him.
being
Hey,
respectful.
getting
That's
robbed.
pretty good.
Something's happening over here.
He tiptoed in. Like, hey.
Oh, look at this right over here. The cat's trying to climb up my chair.
Oh yeah. Cats and chairs. That's always
This is the place to be, apparently, at
Yeah, man.
10 o'clock at night.
Cameras on. Why not?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
funny.
too funny. Yeah, you know, one of the visions I had with IROC, you know, season 1. So I've always been a fan, and I'm sure all of us were, of watching the old IROC series. Like, to me, growing up watching that was just the best races with some of the best drivers. They're always fun to watch. They were close. And so I wanted to bring that back a little bit. And season 1, we went and had 5 cars that we ran throughout the season. And each week it was a different car. And then it would just, you know, once you drop off with the 5th car, it'd start back over. And getting to a single car, and now we have the rotation between the ARCA truck, maybe Cup, if they get an update, that might come back. I don't know. But the ARCA truck and the speed car,
like, hell no,
has been really good. And so to hear everybody's perspective on their feel for each vehicle and why, I think that the racing itself, I mean, we all have an individual preference, but the racing itself, between the vehicles that we're using and seeing the progression of the guys in the league, you know, it's just, we all joke and talk about chasing a McCann or chasing Neil or chasing a Mefford, and there's some truth to that. But if you look across the board, I mean, hell, let's look at the stats for this season alone. So the standings right now, I mean, you've got guys in the mix that weren't there a year ago. Hunter Clark sitting in a good spot, you know, for playoff position at the moment. that's a guy when he first started, you know, he would tell you himself, like he was just getting going, just getting learning. But all of us have been that family that we've talked about, come together and helping each other out, being respectful on the track, that it's really turned this thing into a good deal, I think. And then you go back and look at how all of y'all have been tug of warring for running up front in this league, and you take your talents into other leagues, and y'all are freaking showing out, man. I mean, I'm posting up every Wednesday as somebody winning or somebody on a pole or something. You know, I know that big joke about posting up, you know, the SCAR League, and they got a great thing going on over there. We had some of their drivers, some of their top drivers over here for a little while. We were happy to have them. And then, you know, we got Neil, we got Chris and Brandon going in and kind of stinking up the show with the IROC League deal, and IROC guys up top. So it's been fun to watch, just to see the success that y'all have had outside of this league, and knowing how much that this league itself has probably contributed to that.
Yeah, one thing I can say, if I haven't had a positive for the A cars, the next gen cars, is that since everything was so close, it allowed other drivers to get up there and race with drivers, you know, they're not used to. You know, like, you know, you can follow, you know, Brian around, figure out what Brian's doing. You might not be as good as Brian, but you see where he's turning in at, and you can keep using it. And, you know, it translates over to different cars. I mean, obviously there's different, you know, power, weight, all the other stuff. But it transfers over, and then, you know, like you said, with Clark's and everybody else is stepping up this year, you know, they could have been transferring that stuff from, you know, back in the next gen cars. You know, they're like, all right, I raced around, you know, so and so. You know, I know how they're going to race. You know, they're going to race me clean, they race me hard, race me dirty, whatever they want to do. But you raced around them instead of kind of being, you know, how's he going to race or something like that. And I think another good thing is some of the sim stuff has also went down in price too. You know, getting a lot better equipment. Like you said earlier, you know, equipment has, I feel like, made people better, a lot more equal, and a lot more consistent. So I think with prices of everything dropping, and then the experience of the A car to get knowledge of other drivers is, I guess, a positive. There has to be one for them.
Yeah. I'm going to let you all in on a secret real quick. Brian, move over to the right a little bit. You see that controller down there? That's what he's been kicking everybody's ass on. A controller. Right?
So Chris, you just debunked Chris's whole statement. Equipment don't mean shit.
That's
No, we had this conversation
there's that
last
damn
night.
controller
It's crazy.
again.
I forgot to pick that up and move it.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
Oh, it's classic.
Oh, you ought to
No,
get a
I
drag
mean-
racing league going, Chris. That was you missed out last night.
I didn't even realize y'all were doing that. I saw the videos, but man, I was dead. There's no way. I drove from pretty much Jacksonville, Florida to Bristol, Tennessee Saturday, and drove back Sunday.
Nice.
Yeah, I wasn't. I did plenty of drag race on 995, I promise. You know, one of the things that, you know, you mentioned as far as being able to get up there and have guys race with different competition and learn a couple of different things. We've talked about him a couple of times on this show as well, as Neil's brother Cook. You know, last season, so let's go back to season 3. Season 3 felt like he was learning a little bit, maybe struggling with the competition. Season 4, he came out guns a-blazing and was running awesome. The car had its update, and we all went through our adjustment, but he seemed to stay pretty consistent. And now we see him again this season sitting in the top 10 in points. I think that the consistency of all of us being together and knowing how each other drives as well helps. So, you know, the commitment that we've seen from a lot of you guys, and I go back and thank you again on that part, and everyone else that's in the league that may be listening or watching. the consistency of what we see in these, in our members have been awesome. I think we were averaging about 35 guys a race until the last two, and we had 29 in both of those. So
still not bad. That's not bad. That's
yeah,
not bad.
yeah, a ton of fun. So question that I've got for y'all. So you mentioned your dad. Did he do some racing in the past? Is that kind of how you got involved? What are the origins of y'all's racing? Your real racing.
Yeah, so my dad started racing in 1985.
Okay.
So he started running mini stocks around Muncie Speedway, Anderson Speedway, Mount Lawn Speedway, just our local tracks up here in Central Indiana. So he done that mini stocks until around 1997. He had a knack for winning big races, 50 lappers, 100 lappers. I wish I had the stat, but he's probably won more May 5.0s than anybody at Mount Lawn Speedway history. And but in '97, they decided they were going to go modified racing. So they sold out. Dad and then went modified racing. And Dad hated it. He didn't like the power to weight ratio. He couldn't stand it. So they had a big ass motor, and he just 2,400 pound car, and he was just wiping the tires out. And finally, he was at Anderson running good one night, and the piston went through the side of the engine. So there went 30 grand, and they decided to sell out of that, and then they went super late model racing. You guys have heard the CRA series. So my dad's actually the very first winner at Anderson Speedway, their very first show at the CRA series that was in '97 as well. And he done that for a few years. Money started running dry. He probably quit around, I don't know, 99, 2000 or 2000, 2001. He sat on the couch and went and helped his buddies down the road, the lanes and those guys, and decided he was going to help kickstart what turned into a limited late model series. But basically they took a bunch of G-body chassis and made late models out of them at Mount Lawn Speedway. So Dad and him kicked that off early 2000s. I don't even know how many championships he won, but there's a race called the Raintree 100 at Mount Lawn Speedway. Dad won that 4 times. He's 4 times or 3 times, Chris? 3.
3.
Yeah, he should have won a 4th one, but we won't get into that on this show. But
so did you.
Well, we won't talk about that either. So, but anyway, so Dad done that all the way up until his accident at Anderson Speedway in 2011. We were in those Sportsman late models, and throttle hung open, or he had a medical issue or something coming off of turn 2, and he literally drove the car straight into the turn 3 wall, and he didn't make it that night. So I happened to be in that race with him. I was the last car he passed, saw it all happen, and then so that was pretty tough. But we went on back racing until 2017, about 3 months later. So we wanted to get back in the car and go back racing. Chris and a bunch of buddies, we all got together, and we kept racing for 6 more years. So 1985 to 2017, Mefford Racing was alive. Quite a while.
Man,
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Nope, I was saying that's a lot of racing.
Yeah.
That's a lot of racing. That's a tough deal, man. To be in that race. How did you? And it comes down to nothing but courage, really. At that point, how did you get back into a race car?
I'll be honest with you. So we were at my dad's funeral, and the guy that owns CRA come up to me, and he's like, "You ever going to race again?" And I said, "Dad funded everything. If I have the money, I'm going back racing." He wouldn't want us to quit because before he let me get in a car, he always told me, "Tell your family you love them.
Yeah.
Pray on the way out to the race. Could be your last time."
Yep.
So we knew the consequences. We talked about them of what could happen. So I wasn't really at peace at what happened with him. but it wasn't that we expected it. But we knew what could come of it. So when he went, we knew we were going back racing. He would have wanted us to go back racing because that's what we do.
Right. I get it, man. I just lost my dad in June, and it wasn't, tragic, but him and I did a lot of racing together all over this country, and if anything had ever happened to either one of us in a race car, we'd be at the racetrack as soon as we possibly could. So
honestly, being around all those guys at the track, that just like this is now for us, this is our family. So being back at the racetrack with your family every weekend, try to make things as normal as possible. That was probably the best medicine.
That's healing, man. That's what that is.
It truly is. Yeah.
So
and the amount of respect he had from everybody else, like Brandon was saying, the CRA guy went to us and basically offered to help us out, which is nuts. And then there's a lot of things that people didn't see. There was actually, and I can recall 2 instances that Dad said, "Hey, some guy blew a motor, different guy blew a motor. We went to Raceway Park. This guy blew a motor and his Sportsman." And Dad said, "Well, here's my car. Just put your number on it and go race it." That guy ended up winning the championship. It was 2010, I think it was. And then another good buddy of ours done the same thing. I think he lost a motor in Mount Lawn. Dad said, "Here, take this thing out and drive it." I don't know how he fit in the seat, but he went out there and drove it. So a lot of people had some respect for him, which is pretty crazy, being the competitor that he was. And then the following year, when Dad passed away, the guy put a Ghost 46 on his car, and that was tough. So it was tough that we've seen it, but so cool to see the respect that he had, and just it was nuts.
That's racing, man. That's what racing is all about right there. It doesn't matter if you're it's your local racetrack, dirt or asphalt, or if you're sitting on the sim. It's everybody just gives a shit. Just plain and simple. They care about each other and they care about them deeply. So I appreciate you sharing that story, Brandon, Chris. I can't even fathom that. So, but thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that.
Yep. No problem.
What do we got next?
Well, let's actually take a moment and we're going to take a listen from our other sponsor, Sim Coaches. Let me take a minute to tell you about my experience using Sim Coaches pedals. I myself am a current owner of the Sim Coaches P1 pedal hydraulic pedals, and I have to say they have made my racing so much better and easier. And I highly, highly recommend that you go and you check out these pedals and get a set for yourself as well. You'll find yourself able to get into the corner deeper, brake harder, exceed the limits that you normally would take. Don't take my word for it. Go check them out at simcoaches.com and use our promo code to get 5% off IROC at checkout, or visit simcoaches.com/IROC to receive your 5% off. Thank you. Oh, I swear I'm in a room with a bunch of immature kids.
I'm sweating.
Thank you to Sim Coaches for being a partner with us. We really do appreciate them as well. So does that conclude the interview section and we want to move on, guys?
Yes, we can move on. I do want to make sure before we leave tonight, Chris and Brandon, I want y'all to touch on, and we can go ahead and do it now before we even move on. We had a really special race that went on Friday night. I want y'all to touch on that a little bit. Chris, you were able to pull off the victory there. Brandon, y'all had a lot of guys contribute, and we don't have to, go through every single little detail, but just let us know what the race was for. Y'all talked about some of the charity stuff. If you could share a little bit about who you're helping, the why behind it, and how others can continue to help the cause.
Well, Chris touched on it earlier. So We used to race in sim racing with Racing for a Cause. It was a league, and everyone ran a charity or a cause on their cars. That's what we did, and at times they would raise money um, to give away to these charities, or if you won, you got to donate some cash to your charity or whatever it was. So that kind of stuck with us when that group died. So they you know went their separate ways, and we had to go find other places to race, but we wanted to keep our causes on our cars. So um, wanted something close to home to represent or to race for, and so I started looking at our local areas, and actually Zoe's place was just starting up, um, and so not to bring more tragedy into this, but one of our racing families had a grandchild that had, long and short, was abused and passed away from her injuries, and her name was Zoe. So they started up this Zoe's Place advocacy center for children in Hancock County in Indiana. And so I'm like, I'm racing for Zoe's Place. That's close to my heart, close to home, and that's what we're gonna do. And so last year, Doug Wysocki, who races for Ellie's Place, um, he lost his daughter due to liver cancer, and his grandchildren were going to Ellie's Place for treatment, basically. Um, for their loss. So helping them deal with that, things like that. So both places kind of the same, a little bit different, but just love what they do for kids. Most of us have kids and would want that place for our children to go to if anything were to happen to us. So we decided hey, let's try to raise some money and donate to these nonprofits. It's just a sim racing. If we get a couple $100, that's cool. So we started reaching out to some folks, asking for sponsorship. Decided, hey, we'll get some drivers to pay to enter our race, and let's have a race, and then we'll just donate the money between the two charities. So last year was pretty successful as well. We raised $1,200. We wrote checks $600 each way, one to Michigan, one to Indiana, and so we decided to do it again this year. And life was a little rough this year. Things were busy, so we got a little late start. But in the last 2 or 3 months, man, a bunch of guys came together. Um, you guys right here all raced with us and sent us some money. Spartan sent us some money. Wally done some things, and we raised a bunch of money again. Our goal was $2,000, and we're going to exceed that when all the funds come in. We'll be around $2,100. So we'll cut a check for a little over $1,000 and send it to those charities to make sure these kids, continue to have a place to go when things strike that they need support with. So it means a lot to us. It's really just a bunch of us sim racers getting together to help some people out. But I can't thank all the drivers and sponsors and everybody that backed that deal. It got way bigger than I expected it to.
And I think
Amazing.
it will continue to do that. So,
I agree.
I think each year you're going to be surprised year after year because it's definitely a good cause. It's a lot of fun for us. And I've seen just from last year to this year, the growth in it as a spectator, just a participant. And I see good things on the horizon.
Yes, sir. So we've already got a date picked out. We're going to go September 15th, 2023. So we're going to start now recruiting for sponsors.
There you go. You heard it first.
So here we go. We're going to go for $2,500 this next year. We're just going to keep trying to grow it, and hell, who knows? Maybe one day we'll get on TV.
There you go.
Yeah. Damn, we may. Well, we'll talk about that later. That's really, really good. Might have an avenue.
All righty. Well, I think it's time that we move on to Neil's topic here: green flag, black flag. So Neil, I'm gonna let you take over from here.
Yeah, I got 4 questions for this week, guys. And the first one I'm going to start off with is just a little bit something that we brought up and we've talked about it on the show before, but just going to tie it down here. I know we talked about the next gen car. I'm going to give it a report card up to this point, this time of the year. I know this is the first year they've run it. I know Harvicks been pretty vocal about the performance and reliability. Reliability pretty strong lately. Performance saying they need more horsepower. I'm going to go around the board here. I'm going to start with Chris on this. And green flag, you agree with the performance and been happy with what you've seen on the track, reliability and performance. Black flag, you haven't.
So
And you
you
were
could
Bristol
go,
this weekend.
yep, you could go both ways. I'm actually going to give it a green flag, and here's why. Okay, we know that those guys have complained about the hits. They hurt. They don't like them. That's something that could be fixed. But by the winners penalty that we have in the IROC Challenge Series, I like to see different winners. And there have been a shit ton of those this year. The racing has been fun to watch. I enjoyed Bristol. I was at Daytona 3 weeks ago. I enjoyed that. At the end of the day, racing, when you're a spectator and you're not involved, you just want to see good racing and some action and excitement. And I do think that it has produced that. Are there some things that can change? Yes, but I'm going green flag.
Okay. Going around the board, we'll just go counterclockwise. Brian next. Brian Rick.
I like the competition. Let's see. I like the competition that it's made. You know, I like Chris. I like seeing the different winners. I like seeing the different talent up front. So I'm for that. I don't know, man. There's a lot of things I don't like about it. Is that part of the question?
Yeah. I mean, it's again some of the points that Chris brought up. I mean, the drivers are complaining about the hits that they're taking in the cars. I mean, the performance reliability slash issues. I mean, I don't know how many guys had steering problems this last week. And
so here's my thing. I don't think that you should be able to. I don't like that they took a lot of the fabrication away from the teams. I think that you need to be able to build and tweak your race car, and if you can find a gap to get better in that somebody else doesn't maybe not find, then that's racing. You know what I mean? It's I don't think you should go to like Kyle Busch said, go to Walmart, or Kurt Busch, or one of them said it, go to Walmart and buy your car and put it on a racetrack. So for that, I'm black flag. For the competition, I'm green flag. So
okay, that's fair
pick
enough.
one.
I mean,
Yeah.
and maybe
Your
the
caution
question
flag.
Flavor flag.
Yellow flag in the middle.
Right.
No, I mean maybe the question should have been from a fan standpoint and a driver standpoint. But again, I do agree with the points that you're being made there. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna let Kyle have his input here, and we'll see what he says.
So I've got the same thoughts as Wally does, as far as, here we've seen, 19 different drivers now win, and we're 3 races into the playoff, and we've not seen one playoff driver win yet. So,
Right.
I mean, the variety that it's added on the track as far as winners go, you're seeing different drivers that you normally see in the back running up front. Now, the Daytona, the 400-mile race was a little bit of a different story when you see Cody Ware up there. That's all circumstantial. But, you're seeing drivers that you don't see up front, at least getting a glimpse of the front for a little bit. So like LaJoy at Atlanta. So, you just don't really see that much. So I'm going to give it a wrong flag here, a green flag, and say that I'm all for it. Now that like Harvick has complained, the changes need to be made that they seem to have made. I don't know if any of y'all had seen that, where they had changed out a panel and put different material in and whatnot. So we'll see if that helps with the won't so much cut down the fires, but it'll at least cut down the flames getting in. And they made a change to the front that's going to basically keep the rubber from coming into the intake inlet there in the front bumper, and hopefully block it from rumbling back to the exhaust. So
Yeah,
I'm green flag.
Okay, Brian McCann.
Yeah, I think I share the same opinions with everybody else here. As far as the performance and the reliability issues, I would like to talk about that. So I hate watching it and seeing somebody's tire go out or steering, all the other issues. And I would have to imagine being a driver, that sucks too. So as far as that goes, black flag for that. But it's a new car, fix it. Sure, go on. The competition wise, I like the competition like everybody else has been saying here. I think I mean, there's always something on the track going on, right?
Oh,
And
yeah.
so, I mean,
It's
it's,
good racing.
exciting to watch. So, for that part, I'm green flag.
Yep.
I mean, and I'm listening to you guys, and you guys all have about the same feeling on this. But did you not watch the same race that I did this weekend? Because I'm going to tell you, Harvick had the issues that he had. They kind of knocked him out of the playoffs. But I mean, he had a top 2, 3 car he was running up there, and he's got fresh tires. They restart, they take off, and the guy doesn't move. He doesn't go anywhere. I mean, so is it a competition deal, or is the fact? I mean, at
I
what
don't know.
point? At what point do you put this car and say that it's doing its job? The competition deal, I agree with you, but a guy threw 2 tires on strategy wise, beat all these cars that had 4 tires out there. I guess I see that a little bit, but the fact of it is, you talk to any of these drivers, top 10 drivers, everyone says they're locked down. They can't pass each other.
Yeah.
And
I,
here's
I don't.
why
I
I
don't
think.
want that.
Here's why I think those top 10 drivers are just that close in speed. And here's why I say that. So, being at the race, you know, when you're watching on TV, you get to be watching whatever they show you. So I watched Joey Logano, Kyle Busch, mid to back of the pack at some point in the race, and just focus on them moving through the field and seeing how fast they were getting by guys, watching different kind of battles that you wouldn't normally see. There was at one point I'm watching 3 lead lap cars trying to get past 3 lappers that those guys are racing for their position, and they were struggling to get by them. I think that, and that's why you see 19 winners. Also, the competition is just so much tighter now. There's not a lot of gap between them there, and so maybe that's a part of your point there of find a way to get guys to get spread out that way. You know, let those top tier guys find their way up. But you know, I believe that just by watching it, seeing the 18 and the 22 move through the field from the back to the front the way they did early in that race, I think those
I'm
top
gonna.
guys are just.
I'm gonna come back to this point, but I definitely want to get these 2 guys' input on this. I know I jumped the gun a little bit, but I want to hear Brandon's point and then Chris's, and then I'm gonna pull the clay pigeon on you guys and shoot this one down again. But go ahead.
So I mean, when we ran that car in iRacing last year, there were guys competing for wins that couldn't get out of the way when we were lapping them the year before. So I mean, it's the car. The car's done it. Where's the drivers at? So I like the competition. I love all the different winners. I haven't watched NASCAR since Dale Earnhardt passed away. I don't like it anymore. It's got my attention again. But where are the drivers? Who's your top tier driver now? There isn't any. They're not there.
And that's kind of where I'm going a little bit with this, but I agree with you a little bit there.
Who can wheel a car now?
Go ahead, Chris.
No, I mean, like Brian said, you know, everybody has the same kind of input on certain things. The racing has been phenomenal. I mean, am I a fan of, you know, everybody, you know, using the draft all around the track to, you know, make laps? Not really, but you know, all these different winners. When it comes down to, you know, the end of the day, you know, the last couple laps, you know, them guys are fighting like hell to win, which is awesome because you see them, you know, slide and everything else. But the durability on them is just horrible. I think they brought them out too soon. It's I don't know. It's not to my liking, but the racing has been, and that's not even through the iRacing part. It's just durability. You know, you can barely hit the wall, and your right front's just gonna break off. You know, it's just like you're racing, you know, Max Box cars against.
Did this car end Kurt Busch's career?
Yep.
It could possibly.
That's a whole other topic there.
Yeah, we'll throw that back out there.
Part of that durability, right?
Yep.
But again, what you guys are saying, and I'm hearing you, and I would consider you guys green flagging it or black flagging it, Brandon.
I'm in the middle. I would say green flag just to the competition side and all the different winners, but I could throw a black flag on top of it too.
Chris.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with McCann on this one. Black flag for the you know, on the driver standpoint for the durability and all that. But you know, as a fan, you know, green flag. It's been fun to watch at times. Real entertaining.
All right. I'm going to go and just kind of blow this out of the water, okay? I'm going to give it a black flag from all parts of it. And the reason is I love the car and I love the looks of it. Let's stop there. I'm tired of hearing about toe links. I'm tired of hearing about rack and pinion steering. I'm tired of hearing about catching fire. I'm tired of the idea of these guys getting hurt with the car. Let's start that away. And second of all, we all grew up with heroes like Dale Earnhardt Sr. on a bi-sply tire
Yep.
driving a car sideways that was overpowered, and I miss that. I'm tired of watching guys carry momentum off the corners, and it's just one of those things that I'm watching this, and it's a momentum race type situation, and I'm not in for it, guys. I mean, these aren't drivers. Uh, you got 16, 18 different winners because guess what? We're going to throw Wally in a car next week, and hopefully he's got the strategy, and he's going to be the 20th different winner. And and I seen that a lot this weekend. I mean, at Bristol, I love Bristol. And Chris even talked about it. It's a high low, and you see some movement there. But the fact of it wasn't there at the end of the race. I mean, I didn't see racing. Did somebody tell me if I'm looking at the same thing? Because I watched the last 100 laps of the race easily. I didn't see anything too impressive uh, and exciting. I mean, I didn't feel it, and I would have been. I think I seen more excitement between Brandon Jones and Noah Gragson in the Xfinity race the night before and the truck race. I mean, I think it's missing something. Uh, I say give them horsepower back and change up the tires or wheel setup or something on this thing, and let these guys go back to truly racing and where the true drivers come to the front. I'll go really out on a limb, and Senior's going to roll over to grave this way. In the car that they got right now, Dale Senior isn't the driver that what he is, and he does not
10-4. I
materialize.
agree.
It does not happen. You don't have Rusty Wallace and Dale Senior and Mark Martin and Bill Elliott type drivers, and Jeff Gordon and these guys. And it started to happen. You got to see the development and the materialization of Kyle Larson last year, and it's been shut down this year.
Yep.
They're all the same. I mean, I'm not trying to say it's a bad thing for the sport. I think they got a lot of work on it. And granted, the car is new this year. They got a long way to go on it. So black flag from my point. Let's move it to the next question. We might be here all night the way this is going. But I got a couple simple ones that should be pretty easy for you guys. Question number 2. North Wilkesboro is coming back. I think we talked a little bit about this last week of them getting the All-Star race. They now have a truck race coming back to complement that week. With that happening, green flag or black flag, does Rockingham gets a chance to come back? Chris Wally.
Based on some information that I heard, just listening to another fellow podcast there with the Dale Jr. download, I'm going to go green flag. I know they've got some funds coming, or either already have them, and that the facilities can be multi-purpose. So I think it's coming back.
Am I next? Yep. No, I think they're NASCAR is headed in the right direction, going to bring back some nostalgia, and I am green flag.
Kyle.
What was the question? I had to step out for a second.
Were you on animal control there or what?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. North Wilkesboro is coming back. They're having the All-Star race and the truck race there next season. We've seen the revitalization of North Wilkesboro due to everything that's going on. Rockingham, does it come back or not? Green flag or black flag?
I'm gonna go green flag. I mean, it's just one of those, nostalgic tracks from the past that, granted, drivers hate the track. They hate the cheese grater they drive on, but it's just got that nostalgia to it. You got to bring it back.
Okay, Brian.
Green flag. I'm not in the know on the rumors or anything like that, but just from my experience with the track on these simulators, I love it. I love driving it, and I would love to see it come back in real life.
Hey, BMF, what you got?
I'm going green flag too. So NASCAR's they got to start listening to the fans, right? We want to see these cars being beat up and these drivers driving and overcoming that adversity rather than these cars falling apart.
CMF.
Super green flag. I mean, I went to the truck race this year, and that place sold out. I mean, it's back to this grassroots.
Yeah.
Grassroots racing is where it's going to be at. North Wilkesboro is going to sell out faster than you know. So I'm definitely a green flag all for it.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know how we can't be. I'm gonna go green flag too for Rockingham. I'd love to see it come back. It's a great track, fun to race on iRacing on the sim, and love to watch it. And I promise you, I will be at North Wilkesboro next year for the races too. Both of them.
Amen. Me too.
So let's bump off the question, or bump down, not bump up. Uh, all right, this is a little bit of controversial, but this will go towards the sim a little bit. I know me and Chris, we were pretty fired up the other day about this one, but iRacing for season 4 did a bunch of updates, dropped a couple new cars, tracks out there. I know they had electric cars, stuff like that, and this one pertains to the idea of the ARCA car. How many guys were disappointed being a black flag or green flag, happy with the updates to the ARCA car this week? And can't even wait for the there you go. No, it's unfortunately bumper to bumper update just didn't quite come on the ARCA car, but I know a lot of guys like running it the way it is, and they did update it. So, well, we'll jump to Brian after that because Chris doesn't even need to say anything, does he? You got any opinions, Chris?
I'm highly disappointed. Period.
He's gonna keep it at that. Brian.
I'm gonna be. I was excited they were gonna have an update that to update the car. I think there's potential that we run it. I don't know how that is going to pan out now. So, and I'm going to support my buddy, Chris Wally, black flag.
Pindy.
All right. I still want to know where this bumper to bumper upgrade came from. I don't get it. Okay, so they changed some dash features. I get that. That's cool. That's that bumper to bumper. That is a dash update. They made it to where your paints are no longer any good. I mean, come on now, iRacing. Black flag all the way. Black flag.
3 for 3.
That was like the worst update I've seen.
Oh, McCann's on the side too.
Ditto to everything that was said. Yeah, and I haven't had a chance to drive it personally yet, but I heard about the paint issue Kyle mentioned and the bumper to bumper. Yeah, that sucks. You gonna say something, Neil?
No, I agree with you 100%. I think there's and we'll come back to me, but I think we're about to go full jacket on one color here. That's probably the first time it's happened on green flag, black flag, right?
I think so.
BMF.
Maybe.
Yeah, you guys know Wilkesboro had to make some money back, so they had to change something to get iRacing to make people spend money, right? No, I'm black flag. We all are on the same page right now.
CMF.
As much as I want to be different, I'm gonna say black flag. I mean, until they actually get the new ARCA cars in there, I don't think they should really update them. There's not much to update about them. Now, if they made those cars like the old Cup cars, Chevy, Dodge, Ford, Pontiac, then that'd be super green flag.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, we're gonna go black flag across the board with this. I mean, it's me and Chris were highly disappointed in seeing what we thought we were gonna get a new ARCA car and pretty excited about that because a lot of us enjoy driving the ARCA cars. It just needs to be updated to match what's out on the track. So unfortunately, I think it sucks.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
So I think what I'm going to do in 2 weeks is me and Brian Rick are going to be going to an ARCA race. I'm going to compare their ARCA cars to what we have and see if they're anywhat near the same anywhere, and see if it was a bumper to bumper change.
Well, that bumper to bumper change was in the template. So
yeah, that's all they changed.
It was an upgrade for the painters out there, right, Chris?
Yeah, go in and either have a headache with a lot of pro bonos or make a lot of money. People want new paints. I don't know. Flip a coin.
I can tell you this personally. I haven't updated the ARCA car because none of my paints match for it, and I haven't run any of the races. So maybe they just deterred a lot of guys from not running it anymore.
That's true.
But all right, guys. Last question. Again, kind of on a little bit on the edgy side. I know this is in what we're doing with the podcast and streaming, and we stream our races and do all that stuff. racing promoter Roger Sellers, Smoky Mountain Raceway owner / promoter, came out with a post on Facebook on September 12th, and kind of talking about the decline of dirt racing and the true cause. As a promoter, you run into all kinds of issues, weather, uh, competing against different events, different things like that. It's an ongoing battle all the time. Sponsored hours, stuff like that. He came out and basically blasted streaming services, and that being, I would probably say, more or less guns blazing towards XR and Flow Racing and stuff like that, and basically said the true cause of dirt racing and some of the dirt tracks and the promoters and owners not being able to make ends meet and keep these operations going weekly is the fact of streaming services coming in and streaming races. So going around the board, start with Chris.
Yeah,
Streaming services.
I didn't get a chance to read all the way through it, so I'm going to answer this based off of just, I guess, a non-educated understanding of what his full post said and my idea of streaming. I'm actually going to go Black Flag. I am sure there are some tracks that are not doing well at certain times. But I think at the end of the day, most dirt track racing is your local dirt tracks, not tracks that are on flow racing. And so I think that I know the two local tracks here with us in my area, they just don't want to race at the end of the day. The track promoters don't want to, they don't have enough dates because they don't want to put the work in. I don't know that that's the case for everybody, but it's definitely a lot harder to prep a track than it is, a dirt track than it is any kind of asphalt track. And you're just finding a lot of people that don't want to do it. So I'm going Black Flag on streaming being the reason. I think there's too many other factors going on in the world right now that are keeping people either from racing or from going to the races, and I don't think a stream is it.
Okay, Brian.
Yep, I'm Black Flag. I didn't read it, and I don't feel it. I didn't read the article, so my take is this: that dirt track racing to me is bigger than it's been in a long time. I don't think that, and I think that streaming has helped that. I think that if you look at, I could name a dozen races, Chili Bowl, but you could Knoxville. There's tons of races that are dirt in December at the Dome here in St. Louis, all sell out crowds with streaming. Our local, kind of local dirt tracks, Jacksonville Speedway in Illinois, on Dirt Vision weekly, packed house every Friday night. Man, I can go on and on. So without reading the article, that guy's nutty and wrong. And
you would basically put this more on the promoter and the facility necessarily.
100%, absolutely.
Okay.
Yep, 100%. If like I said, if anything, streaming has helped attendances. So if you're not drawing in fans, it's something because some other reason. It's not streaming. So
okay,
Black Flag.
Pindy.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and go Black Flag. I'm gonna say it right now, Black Flag. How many of you all have Netflix or Hulu? Has it deterred you from going to the movies to see a hot new movie that comes out?
Nope.
It's because it's promoted correctly that makes you want to go see it. So yes, it's all in the promoter. The promoter is to blame. I would say what I read and see, the promoter is to blame. Now, what goes on the inside of that facility, I don't know. But yes, blaming it on streaming services to put the blame somewhere else, I think is just completely wrong. So, big old Black Flag.
Brian McCann.
Black Flag. I got more questions than opinions on that. Just like everybody else is saying, how would exposure hurt you? I just don't understand how that mechanic could be thought of.
Good point.
I mean, you can get that streaming service out. Somebody that maybe didn't know that track was there, they see it on their TV and like, wait a minute, I like that, I'll go there. Or I don't know, just watch it, and they're getting ads and revenue off of it. Somebody 8 states away,
Right.
but
Well, his complaint in the article more or less states that these smaller racetracks that have the stream services coming in are not generating enough revenue. When you have somebody sitting at home watching his races going on at his facility, that's a pit pass walking through the door or a general admission ticket for $25 to $45, he's not getting that back through the streaming
yeah,
service. And the thing about it is, uh, promoters like himself, and he goes, we battle weather all the time. If it's too hot, they sit at home, they watch Netflix. They've got a lot of other entertainment options, or they turn my race on and watch it. It's a whole lot easier for them to sit there with their buddies, drink beer, tailgate, sit in their man cave, and watch the races in that type of environment. It's not going to get any better than that for them. They have the amenities that they want to watch those races there, and it keeps him from getting that valued ticket that supports his racetrack. He says there's nowhere in the streaming services, no matter what anybody tells you, that the streaming services cannot generate that revenue of that he's losing through the front gate or the back gate. And it is a valid point, and I do definitely hear what you guys are saying, because I believe my same point is, I see places like Eldora, Knoxville, Chili Bowl. I I work during the week. Everybody else does. Whenever the Chili Bowl's going on, I can only watch the stream races during the week because I can't be down there every night, and it still looks like it's sold out. And this is a place that sells out 5 nights in a row, 6 nights in a row. I mean, there are big races that I do agree are selling out, but this is a smaller track promoter, maybe not in the same vicinity and maybe not getting the drivers that he needs or promoting the races big enough. Maybe that's the case. There might be a little both ways, but I definitely see some valid points on it.
I want to add some on that real quick. So Jacksonville Speedway, I mentioned it before I give my black flag.
Hell of a promoter.
The guy's a massive promoter.
Mhm.
He's a country boy, but he's smart enough. He got on, signed up with Dirt Vision. I'm sure Kenny's getting a little bit of cut off something. There's no way. I know Kenny. He's not doing. I mean, great guy, super, like Neil said, great promoter, but he's going to make something off that. There's no reason that if this sellers couldn't go and try to do the same thing. So he's completely out of line.
Well, and again, this goes back to several different tracks, and don't really want to get into that too much. I want to keep working my way around the board here. I know I've
Yeah,
got Brian's
sorry.
opinion
I
on
just
it.
had to throw
Yeah,
mine.
me too. Me too. BMF, what's your feelings on this?
Yeah, I'm with you guys. So the promoters have to do a job, whether it's streaming or not streaming. So
Right.
you're not the guys aren't going to watch the stream if the show's no good, and you're not going to get fans in the stands if your show's no good. So if you're not putting cars on the track and you're not putting on a good show, I don't care what it's doing. You're not making a good show. No one's coming to watch it. It's not the streamers.
Right.
CMF?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. Kind of like Brian was saying there. You know, they got to be making some kind of cut off this. You know, whether you're going to watch a race at Eldora watch the World 100. You know, Eldora's going to get some kind of cut out of that. You know, like you guys live states away. You guys ain't going to drive, hours just to go to the World 100 and take that chance of it raining out. Because then what are you guys going to do? You're going to be out of, time and money just to drive over there. The promoters definitely got to do a better job promoting. If it's a streaming service that they're worried about, they need to make their certain cut on it. Say the race is $20. Outdoors like, all right, I want $5-10 for each viewer you guys get. Obviously it's not a lot, but it's better than nothing.
Here's one for you. Do it yourself. Stream it yourself. Make the money.
Well,
It's a valid point.
Yeah.
Pay-per-view.
I mean, it's not hard.
To Chris's point, and Neil, you said, they're a smaller track, smaller venue, losing out. Who's traveling that far to see a local race anyways? Probably nobody. So tie in your community. And I say this because of the local tracks here, right? Waycross Motor Speedway was one of the first dirt tracks in Georgia. I mean, it's been around since I think like 1951. But they don't want to race now. I mean, they change the rules year after year. They're catering to certain drivers. don't do that in your local tracks and get people deterred from wanting to race there and not bring the car count. You know, I'm looking at their Facebook page right now. They have 420 reviews. We've got almost twice the followers they've got on a freaking iRacing page.
Look over the shit.
I mean,
because we're awesome and we promote.
I'm just saying we do exactly that. But I mean, you know, and those guys that are, because it's too hot, because it might rain, that might stream something else or do something. Those people are going to do that anyways.
Yeah.
If you're a race fan and you say, I'm going to the races, I'm going.
You're going. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. I mean, and the guys that are going to stay home because it's too hot, they're going to find an excuse anyways. And if they're not streaming something, they're doing something else. They're not going to be there.
Yeah, to give you more of my opinion on this deal, I read the article and I felt the same way. And same thing that Brian said about Jacksonville, my perception comes up with Hobstadt. I mean, this is a racetrack out in the middle of nowhere. Family run, farm, nice facility, kept up top notch, packed every time they run. I don't care whether it's late model sprint cars, wing sprint cars, whatever it is. Uh, and you don't see guys like that complaining, or Jacksonville or those type of tracks. The ones that are complaining are the guys that don't really take the advantage of what necessarily is there as a tool like the streaming services. And I've read this article 2 or 3 times, and I tried to see his views on it, and I understand the battle of trying to deal with weather and people saying that it's too hot. If they're not a true race fan if you're not putting on a good enough show, like Brandon said too. You draw people in and continue to have them being there. Um, some valid points made on his end of this deal, but in general, it basically looks back and just like you said, looking at his Facebook page and looking at what else he's doing out there, I think he's missing the point on his side. So I'm gonna go black flag on it also. So it kind of rounds it out. Yeah, it kind of rounds it out for me for the green flag, black flag questions for this week, guys. Thanks for participating.
You betcha.
Good job, Neil. Appreciate that. That was actually a really good one there. So we're gonna take a moment. We're going to listen to a sponsor of ours, R&R Racewear. We'll be right back. R&R Racewear, your source to all custom racewear apparel needs, and home to iRacing apparel. Check it out today at rnrracewear.com. Yeah, that's right. It's that guy again. All righty. Now we're going to jump into some news over the weekend in racing. Neil, you've always been the one to bring these topics in and give us a lot of good content out of that. So I'm going to go ahead and let you take over this again and just give us a little rundown of this weekend's racing news.
Yeah, guys, just going to basically go through some happenings through the weekend briefly here, just kind of keep you updated, a little bit of what's going on out there. Starting with, let's start with dirt late models up at Knoxville this weekend. I feel like a broken record on repeating this every damn weekend.
Superman.
I mean, yeah, Superman. Nobody's grabbed on his cape and slowed him down at all. But Davenport catches Tyler Bruni in the last couple of laps yesterday to claim his first Knoxville Late Model Nationals. $50,000 payday for Davenport. I mean, guy probably could retire after this year. I mean, incredible year.
What's he won? Like $1.5 million?
Yeah, last time I looked, it was like 1.5 or something like that, 1.4. And I tried to look that up today on Twitter. I couldn't find it, but interested to see where he's at stacked up with his World 100 win. I mean, looking at this, I mean, we talk about how dominant Kyle Larson is jumping in the cars he does and winning like he did last year up at Fairbury and all the sprint car races. You can't look past the year Davenport's having, man. It's incredible. You're kind of shocked if he doesn't win. So congrats on him winning up there. That is his first late model nationals. So jumping or staying with the deal with World of Outlaws, jumping from the late models to the sprint car side of things. Man, I put a link up here of the highlights up at Keller, California over the weekend. Logan Schuhart for Shark Racing, coming from back pretty good ways to put on a great show. Carson Macedo was really kind of running away with this thing, holding him at bay, late caution. Schuhart puts a slider. I mean, it could be classified dirty, clean, whatever you want to say, but definitely put the brakes on Macedo in turn 2. Ended up holding him off for the last lap and claimed a $21,000 payday there before coming it back to the Midwest here. I know the sprint cars are coming back to Eldora for this weekend, sharing on Saturday night, and then they head to PA. But I'm going to tell you, if you guys get a chance, watch the highlights of that one. Logan pretty well put the fans at bay. Said, I don't care if you guys cheer, boo, whatever.
I'm
walking
leaving
away
with
the
21,000.
I'm leaving with the 21 grand, guys. So congrats to him. It was a big win for him out west there. And then just kind of capping off our NASCAR highlights for the weekend. The truck started off the weekend Thursday night at Bristol. Ty Majeski gets ThorSport a win there, his first win in the series. And I mean, I'm gonna tell you, this kid's come on really strong, and Ty has some strong ties to iRacing. I know I've raced with him a couple times. I'm sure all you guys have here along the line, but great person for the service sim racing. Very, very smart, intelligent gentleman that can wheel a truck right now. He's doing well. Look for him to compete for the championship over there. So locked himself in. In the Xfinity Series race Saturday night at Bristol, Gregson, third win in a row, holding off Brandon Jones. And kind of a little bit ironic on this situation is Brandon is going to be replaced. It was announced this week that Brandon will be replacing Noah in the 9 Junior Motorsports Xfinity car for next year. So kind of caught a lot of people off guard. I know there's several names that have been thrown up for that 9 car, but Brandon Jones really wasn't one that we heard a lot about. But congrats to him to jump in that car. But Noah 3 wins in a row. Again, looking like he's the championship, the guy to beat the championship over there. So, and then Saturday night, night race at Bristol there, the Bass Pro Shops 500. Christopher Buescher gets the first win for RFK. I know Brad Keselowski had a good run going on there, late caution. I know the two-tire strategy that they pulled, crew chief there, got him the win and stayed out front and held off all chargers. I mean, it was pretty impressive, holding off some of the Hendrick guys, Chase Elliott, them guys. So good. Congrats to Christopher Buescher for his first win at RFK. So I think they said, I think I saw somewhere today that the guy that had the second most time lapse between wins was Bill Elliott, 226 wins. I guess Buescher got close. He had 222. He was second there on that. So, but the other news in that deal, Kevin Harvick and Kyle Busch got eliminated from the series there. So all due to part failures, kind of like Brandon Mefford's T-shirt around his neck right now. It's kind of a part failure. So, but anyway, inside joke going on here, guys, on the chat. But anyway, that wraps it up for the highlights for the races. So I'll pass it back over to Pindy here.
All right, thank you, Neil. Appreciate that update there. We're gonna jump over here to Mr. Chris Wally and let him give us a breakdown of this past Thursday night's race in the IROC Challenge Series. It's all yours, sir.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. So we wrapped up race 7 of 10 for the regular season. So we got 3 more coming up with IRP, Martinsville, and then closing us out at Daytona. But Las Vegas last Thursday night, scheduled 100 laps. We ran the full 100. We would see 5 leaders with 6 lead changes through the night. Only 4 cautions, 16 laps. 2 of those cautions were stage breaks, and one of them was lap 1 for Team McCann. We would see Brian dominate this race throughout the night, though. We had some guys that contended for a little bit. Troy Radford, he led 19 laps and was our pole setter. Neil, he ran right out there with Brian throughout the night, gave him all he had right there at the end. But Brian, you led 78 laps, ended up winning both stages. Your first win on the season. When they said that over the broadcast, I got to think about it. I was like, damn, that blew my mind. I was like, Brian McCann, 7 races in, which, kind of just tells you where things are right now.
Competition is strong.
Yeah. So it's been good. But if you want to kind of debrief on your race, how you felt about your race. I know mine made it about a half a lap, and well, then it was over. So there was a bunch of riding around after that. But how do you feel through the night? How was the car? What were some challenges for you for your race?
Challenges, probably I put some practice in, but I made a mistake. I practiced on 100% fuel. And then when I got into the session, at 60% fuel, and it changed the car big time. I was amazed by the difference there. So I quickly had to relearn that, but it wasn't, I guess I adapted. But as far as racing goes, Neil, he was right there. He had me scared the whole time. I thought he was going to get around me, but I know Brandon's fast. I saw Chris up there. Troy was really fast. Aaron's fast. And probably some guys I'm missing here, but the top 10 was all right there, I believe.
Yeah,
I want to be part of these conversations someday.
I want to chime in on this.
I got to be this week. I got top 10. I was super excited. I hadn't had one of those in forever.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, after that the last run there and getting behind, I know I got a good start on Troy and got out in front of him. And I mean, me, Troy, and Brian were running about the same lap times. And honest to God, I mean, if Troy would have got out in front of me, I don't think I would have got around him. But I tried to make a move a couple times on Brian, and he did a good job of kind of holding me at bay. And if I'd have got the nose out in front of him and got in front of him, I don't think he would have had a chance to get around me either. So, but I know we're chatting back and forth, but fortunately for us, his brother and Aaron let us get out front and do some racing and stay out front this time. So I guess, but we ran really good. I mean, Brian was really fast all night, had a dominant performance, and I should have just crashed him. That's all I could say.
I knew he was thinking about it too. That was the problem.
I think the broadcast thought that too, because they had a shot from looking from the back of your car, Brian, and it was coming right through the tri-oval area right there at the start finish line. And Neil, you were underneath him and then snuck in right behind him, kind of draft a little bit going into one, and it was close.
That was no sneaking. That was him coming across. I mean, he was killing me. He was killing me.
I was trying to cut him off, and I wasn't clear, and I was like, "Uh-oh!" So I had to pull back up.
No, he did a really good job. I mean, I was trying to get underneath him, and I think he said even in his broadcast that he didn't really want to let me get to the top side, and that's where I felt I was the best too. He did a really good job of keeping me on the low side and trying to get around him. And really, at that point, he just kind of killed my air after I tried it a couple times and heated the tires up. But it was a great race, and had a lot of good times there. So,
well, knowing next week we've got Lucas Oil Raceway, I'm sure we're all excited about that. We've had some love-hate relationship. Yeah, we've had a little love-hate relationship with that track in the past. How do y'all feel going into the race this week? Especially Brian, you got to come from the back, man.
Is it this week or next week?
It's this week. Next week.
Next week. We're off this week.
Yeah, we're off this week. You're right. I don't even know my own schedule.
I get a vacation.
I'll go. I'm excited to go to Raceway Park. I've raced there in real life. The sim's really close to it. The track drives very similar. It's very tough. I know Brian and Neil and Chris aren't going to give me even a chance, but I'm going to try to get up in front of them. And I think in season 3 we went there and Neil cheated me up, and I think he won the race and I had to finish second. So I'm looking for revenge.
Call out.
Yeah, I mean, me and Brandon, I mean, it's been probably a month and a half ago since we ran trucks there.
Yeah,
and we were pretty well putting a whooping to them all. And unfortunately, he got caught up in a little bit of a deal that put him behind me, and I unfortunately have still not figured out how to pit without speeding. So we really represented IROC pretty good that night in the truck series that we were running in that league. So I think there's a little bit of redemption this time. So hopefully we get that number 2 out there, that Spartan Transportation Camaro, and whip everybody's butt this weekend. Next weekend. We'll cheat our way to the front. I mean, Brian's over there looking at it.
As long as it's not a caution fest, that's what we want to stay away from. Let's get some racing. Let's be nice the first 2 laps, and then we'll get going.
Yeah, I can say I'm looking forward to it. Just being more of a short track, racing like a short track, heavy braking. That's what I like to do. I know I think Brian and Kevin's gonna be hell to beat. Because it just seems like it's one of their tracks that just adapts to them well. I think it's gonna be fun if we can get going.
I mean, you think about the races that come up each week, and all of us guys sitting here looking at each other, and I mean, I'm gonna tell you, it's anybody that can pull out there and stay out front and do well, and it's Chris is very competitive on short tracks. Brandon's been very good in this car. Brian continues to cheat his way to wins. Kevin, no, I mean we've got a great group of guys, and I'm gonna tell you, pro level drivers over here. So it's been fun, and it's, if you guys can tune in, I mean it's a heck of a race to watch.
I will say thank you to whoever caused that first lap caution last week. I had school and I didn't get home until I think it was 9:43, and I signed in under my phone, so I was actually already registered, and it turned 1 lap until I got on the track. So, well, I know you said you was involved in it, so thank you.
Yeah, that was one McCann was starting in the front, one McCann was starting in the back.
They were just
so
lost.
they had this teammate of theirs, team orders to wipe out everybody in between.
It was polarity.
They did a pretty damn good job. I'm just saying.
I mean, you got to think one was in the front, one was in the back. They were lost without each other. That's what it was.
Listen,
So where's the third member of the McCann team here? I mean, we got Kevin.
I'm trying real hard not to say names, and he knows I'm picking.
He's in the top left of this damn podcast.
No, I've I mentioned it last week. I've either met the 12 car or met the pits because of the 12 car 3 races in a row, and he knows it. We've talked about it and joked about it. He got a pro bono paint for the charity. He got 2 of them actually. So it's all good there. But yeah, it was right there in the highlight at the very beginning. Tim just ran out of talent coming out to there for a moment and hit the wall and couldn't stay off the damn thing. So we all got to benefit from his That's okay. That's okay. We still love you, Tim.
Well, I will say them paints you did for that charity race were spot on, man. Those were badass.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I don't think that's been said even about Chris's win. Chris on that win from the charity race last Friday. That was a big one. And how big a win was that? How far out front were you?
0.001. I got to thank Brian McCann for not pushing Dustin Ping. I know Dustin kind of cut him off there coming off 4 and gave him a little bump. But I like to think of it this way. Brian can I know Brian has a different mindset on it. But I feel like I pushed him past Dustin on that final restart. And I was like, man, maybe Brian's going to pay the favor and not push him. But no, dude, that battle between him, Dustin, and myself it was crazy. I crossed Brian up. He crossed me up. Dustin came out of nowhere on the bottom. It was it's probably one of my most intense races I've had on iRacing, especially for me having I guess in Chris Wally's words, a 12 moment in turn 3 and 4.
Yeah, I thought we had a good little thing going between me, Brian, and Neil. I guess I got to know what it was like being one of y'all top drivers for a night. It was a lot of fun hanging with them, and we were working our way through the field there, and we had a gentleman squeeze us into the wall, took out me and Neil, and hell, I went in the pits and forgot to turn my quick repair on, and so took my race out. But I was watching it, and Brian right there coming to the checker flag when you try to dive underneath. I swear y'all were about to go through the damn pit lane. He drove you down there so far.
I was hoping they were just going to take each other out, man. Catbird.
Yeah, I was say y'all you had a decision to make there: turn his ass or fall in line. But it made for good racing there at the end.
Yeah, I think the best part is that, all top 3 guys donated all their money back to charity, which is, I thought I just got $150 and it was actually $225. So, Brian donated his, and he even got the Intimidator Award. Who would have thought? And then Dustin donated his at the end of the day. So that's probably the coolest part about that race.
Absolutely. A lot of fun. We touched on earlier for a great cause. Everybody go in and we're going to make sure Zoe's Place has their links to our page, to this site on the tag. So definitely go in and take a look at that whenever you check us out. And
you all did say September 15th, 2023, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right.
We're ready.
Cool. All right. Well, I think that's going to conclude that for our race at Vegas. Let's go ahead and hear from our sponsor, Supreme 3D Printing. Are you looking for the next sim rig upgrade? Or maybe your man cave needs a little more style? Or is your wife wanting to redecorate your home? Well, we here at Supreme 3D Printing have you covered. We create and print tons of different and useful items that is sure to fit everyone's style and budget. Check us out on Etsy at etsy.com/shop/Supreme3D Printing. If you don't see what you're needing, then feel free to contact us for your needed item. All right. Thank you to Supreme 3D Printing for supporting us as well. We're going to go and give it to Mr. McCann for his pit road tips. Brian, what do you got for us today, this week?
So last week I wrote a book and I just read it off on the stream. this week I didn't write a book. I'm just going to talk about it. But I've been playing games for a while, and really in gaming you really only have 2 things, and that's the visual and audio. In iRacing you have a third, which is your steering wheel force feedback. But I never, throughout my gaming career, really paid much attention to sound, and that's the topic for today. I know I started getting into audio, specifically like headphones and the differences between a gaming headset and a studio headset. And I've since then converted away from gaming headsets and went to studio, which is a more of a flat profile versus a gaming headset, which is they typically boost the bass and some other frequencies. But ever since I've switched, I've noticed the difference in some of the games I play, and I'm able to hear the sound better. At least it could be a pseudo effect or whatever. But anyway, so I've had that help me a little bit with iRacing, I believe. And so one of the things I also do in iRacing is if you go into the sound options, you have, I think it's like 6 different options there for individual sound levels for, I think you got wind noise, ambient, tires. I don't know all of them off my head, but what I like to do is I turn down engine, I turn down winds, stuff you don't really need, and leave the stuff that I want to hear. That has sort of helped me as well. Does anybody else here do that?
Yep.
Yeah, I make sure I turn down chat because I don't want to hear any of y'all in the background. Just kidding. But yeah, I turn down the tire or turn up the tires. That's one thing that,
I figured you turn down the crashes.
No, that's turned up full speed. That's my 12th option there.
I mean, it does have a tab that says crashes. That just doesn't say. I mean, I've looked to see if it does say Chris Wally, but it says crashes.
Listen, I took away the quick repair just so I could go ahead and get out of that thing quick, and we could just end the show right there. No, but the tires I definitely do.
So Brian, you talked about using studio headsets. What kind of is there a certain brand that you recommend that would work? Is there a certain type of, so you've got say a microphone, you got a condenser mic, you've got a dynamic mic. Is there a certain kind of studio headset out there?
I've experimented with 40 and 50 millimeter drivers. I like the 50s. I couldn't tell you what the difference is. I'm not an audiophile yet. I'm trying to get there, but I'm still in the learning process. But
Okay.
I can tell it that there's a different. I haven't really been able to tell the difference in iRacing. The iRacing, the sounds are kind of simplistic, but in other games, I have noticed a difference where if I put my old gaming headset back on, it messes me up in the game. I'm not able to do it as well as I am with the studio quality headphones.
All right. Yeah, because I'm looking on Sweetwater right now at see what's out there. Anybody else got any questions for him? Anything like that?
Nope, that's a good tip.
What's the fast time for next week?
Haven't tried. Don't know.
I know what we're chasing.
All right, so we're going to move on. We're getting close to the end here. Do want to make a couple of announcements real quick. So the IROC Challenge Series has formed another division of racing. It's going to be the all Rovals. So you've got places like Charlotte, Legacy, Texas, Indy Road. It's all going to be Roval courses. It's going to be in the Global Mazda MX-5s. We're shooting for somewhere around the beginning of the year to start this. Going to be like our first season 1 and kind of just start out slow and just slowly get to like season 5 to where we are now with it. So if anyone is interested in that, reach out to us. You can reach out to the podcast at the Hotdog Stand on Facebook, or you can reach out to us on the IROC Challenge Series Facebook page as well. We'll get you the information that we've got going on. I've got a couple people who's interested in it. So like I said, if you're interested in it, let us know. We'll definitely take care of that for you. And then on top of that, that's really all I've got for announcements about any league stuff's going on. I guess we can go ahead. Oh, one more announcement, because we're going to be going into our NASCAR picks. So we have formed a fantasy league on NASCAR.com. It is open to the public. Anyone's welcome to join it. So for 2022, obviously we're coming down to the end of the season in NASCAR. So the picks, do what you want with them. Not a big deal as far as competition goes. But 2023, we would like to see everyone get serious with their picks. So if you're wanting to join, you can find us on NASCAR.com. It's actually, I got the link right here. I can read it off to you. NASCAR.com /live/league/the-hotdog-stand-podcast. So search for us, the Hotdog Stand Podcast, on NASCAR.com for your league and join it. We'd love to have everybody that we can get in there. It'd be fun. We'll make a segment of it for next year.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
So now we're going to get on into our actual NASCAR picks, and I'm going to read off our order of who's picking. So I won Bristol, and then it's going to be Wally. It's going second. Brian McCann's going to go third. Neil Quick, and then I'm sorry, Brian, Rick, but Will picked you a bad one this week or last week. So
Yeah, I heard.
yeah. So let's see here for my pick for Texas, which NASCAR's going to be going to Texas, unfortunately. I think I'm going to have to choose. I'm going to choose Briscoe. That's who I'm going with.
So I'm next.
Yes, sir.
Man, I don't even know who I've used or who's available. So you're going to have to tell me if they're not available.
Okay.
And this is only guys that are in the playoffs, correct?
It's in your best interest, I think, but it's up to you.
I'm going to go with Blaney. I think he's going to back up that All-Star win in Texas.
All right.
Window net up.
All right. So then we got McCann.
Bell.
Oh, damn.
Who is it?
Christopher Bell, right?
All right. You got Bell.
Got a lot of speed right now.
Yeah, he does. He definitely does. Neil?
I'm going to go Joey Logano.
And then Mr. Rick.
Well, I was going to take Bell. I am going to take. I'm going to take Austin Dillon.
All right.
He's ready.
Good B.
That would have been my pick.
All right. Picks are locked in now. No changing them. No mulligans. So with that, let's go ahead and move into final thoughts. Brian McCann, you got any final thoughts there?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank you to both the Meffords here joining us tonight. It's great to talk to you. I've talked to Brandon a lot. I haven't really talked to Chris a lot, so just grateful to be here and hear everything you had to say.
All right. Mr. Wally.
Yes, this is this whole podcast vision started with Brian and Kyle and putting it together and putting a lot of work into this and bringing us all together for moments like tonight. We've gotten to race with y'all for well over a year now, a couple seasons in the IROC Challenge Series, but to get y'all to be able to come on here and share some personal moments, right? Let us get to know you a little bit more. There you go. A little hardware.
I actually got 2 of them.
And
Show off.
oh, well, if we're showing off, that was before all the competition showed up. If we're being completely candid. No, but we definitely appreciate y'all coming on here, letting us get to know you, let other members get to know you. We definitely plan on being able to speak to more of our members on here. But just thank you for your time.
All right. And then we're going to throw it over to Mr. Rick.
Yeah, man. So I really enjoyed spending some time with you guys, Mefford Brothers. Really appreciate your stories. I really like that the charity races you put on. I'm excited to be a part of that, and so thank you, and can't wait to race with you guys again.
All right, Neil, what you got there?
You guys are horrible. No, I'm gonna be real honest with you. It's great to hear you guys' stories and the personal stories and a lot of the racing background that you guys have. It's like I said, I can't tell you how much the sim and this podcast and what Kyle and Brian have done and Chris putting everything together to get closer to the guys you race with week in and week out. And I can't thank you enough. And I know as being guys that we race competitive with each weekend or each week, and this past week, Chris helped me immensely to be able to wrap up the regular season title at Scar. So I can't say that happens without him. So appreciate you guys being on the show. Looking forward to racing with you guys week in and out, and even to the charity event next year. I'm definitely in, and hope to see you guys grow that even more. So thank you.
All righty, and then I'm going to go throw it over to Mr. Chris Medford. You got a final thought there?
Yeah, appreciate you guys having us on here. It's been a great experience to share the screen with you guys. Hearing your guys' opinions on certain things, cracking up about a couple things, a couple good jokes. And it's been awesome to talk to you guys from outside of the sim. Once you get in that sim, you're kind of pretty much dialed in to what you're going to do. So, hearing that, talking about our dad, I said there ain't enough time in the day to talk about that, and you guys can vouch for that.
Absolutely.
I'm upset you guys didn't pick the race winner for Texas, which is going to be Eric Jones. But I'll let that one slide.
He's probably right. That's probably a good pick.
Yeah, I helped Eric a couple times over here at Anderson, so it's pretty cool. He comes from a very, I wouldn't say a rich family, but a family that's definitely put its life on hold for racing. So, him as dad, putting a second mortgage on the house, selling his favorite car just so he can race. That's a lot of risk for
man.
for something, but then he's making it pay off. So,
Yep.
All right, thank you. And then Brandon Mefford.
Yeah, guys, thanks for inviting us for one. Really wasn't expecting the phone call over the weekend, so had a blast being on the show. Appreciate everybody, jumping on board our charity race and then listen to our stories. And again, just to reiterate, it's incredible that we've met everyone that we've met. Pretty close with a few of you guys. We talk throughout the week, not just on Thursdays. And we've all helped each other get better on the sim and run things through life, about life through some of you guys. So just want to throw it out there for the world to see or hear that, the iRacing's got a huge family, and Thursday night's one of our families. And so thank you guys for that.
I appreciate that. Thank you. And Brian Rick, did you have an announcement you want to make real quick?
Yeah. So make sure. So next week we have Rain LaJoy on video. We're going to sit around and talk with him. I'm really looking forward to that. There's going to be some really, really good stories coming out of his camp. So be sure to tune into that. That's going to be a good one.
Yeah, definitely. So I know I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
I've been in contact with him here the last couple of days, and he's all set to go. So we're going to have him next Monday night. So be sure to tune into that. So I'm going to go ahead and get my final thought. So tune in next week as well, next Monday, and or next week. I don't care. I don't know how you listen to this. Or it's on through a podcast, whether it's live or just watching it on YouTube later on. Be sure to tune in for that episode for sure. You won't want to miss it. Episode 8 with Randy LaJoy. But my final thought is going to be, we are on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, the Sim Racing channel on any Roku device. And also, we have our own Discord, and we would love for you to join. So be sure to come and get the link out of the show notes and join our Discord. We want to build a community where we can interact with you all, and you all can give us ideas to put on the show, and you will get a shout out for that as well. So please connect. We would love to just connect with all of you all. But also be sure to like, share, rate, review our show. If you would do that for us, we greatly appreciate it, especially on podcast platforms. We do check the ratings, and we do check the reviews and read them. And so that would mean a lot to us if we could get those. It helps get us out to more viewers and more listeners. Also, like I said, share with your friends and family. Anyone in the iRacing community, I'm sure, would love this, or any NASCAR fans that you may know. But with that, I think that is going to do it. And we are